YouTube, it's great to have you back for another video. I'm your builder, New Build Cities, NBC for short, and today the gauntlet was thrown down and a challenge laid in front of us by Sunken Ship. The challenge is a 30-minute city build to 7,000 citizens. The rules are as follows: no video editing or cheaty shenanigans, no unlimited money, milestones locked up tight, and no grids. I encourage you to kiss your loved ones goodbye, take up your arms, and join me in this challenge. The link to Sunken Ship's challenge video will be below. For this challenge, I picked Swamplands from the Sunset Harbor DLC. It has a very flat starter area, fertile land and forest for specialized industry or industries DLC, and abundant water. So the first step, of course, in any city is to make a connection to the highway. And I think the simplest and easiest one is just a roundabout. So I'm going to go ahead and just build the standard 20 unit diameter roundabout. Of course, the bigger the size, the more traffic you can handle. So that should be good. And we're just going to go ahead and pull the 3 legs off. And on the right, we'll have our residents. Coming straight down, we'll have probably like a kind of like a commercial area, and to the left, we'll end up doing like industry. So as I mentioned before, this video is real time, so no speeding up or slowing down, no cuts or anything like that. Let's go ahead and run our residential roads. I think I'm just going to follow like the tree line and maybe the coastline here just to get started. And if you have trouble breaking the grid, I always see those posts constantly on Reddit, City Skylines Vanilla and City Skylines Console. How do I break the grid? I'm so bored. Just do what I'm doing here. I follow the tree line on one road and I follow the coast on the other. This road I'm running right now shoots right between the trees, and guess what? It's not a grid. It's that simple, folks. Just follow the terrain. The terrain is your ally. It's your friend. And what I decided to do to save some time was go ahead and build a few roads for the residential area first and get them zoned in so they could start moving in as I ran power and water. So I kind of left them out high and dry with no power and water in the beginning, just to save a little bit of time. And it looks like we have no wind resource, which of course, if you follow my channel a lot, you know I promote wind as a cheaper, more efficient alternative to coal. And there's arguments on both sides, of course. And we're stuck with coal, and that's not fine. We shall rise to the occasion and overcome. I also, of course, adjust our budget down to save some money. I have no idea what adjusting the road budget does. It says it reduces the number of snow dumps and road maintenance trucks. We're not going to be using those, so sure, we can save the money and we'll build more. I'm using the inlet water treatment plant from the Sunset Harbor DLC, and I'm using our standard water pump. And the road layouts I'm choosing is basically avoid some of the trees, so it's a nice organic look so far, and I'm happy with it. And we will be playing on 3-speed the whole entire time to allow people to move in as quickly as possible. And from what I can tell, it looks like we're at about 200 citizens, and our average is around 10 to 20 citizens every, maybe 5 seconds or so. And I'm doing a really bang up job with the water. I've done some gnarly water designs under the roads before, but this one is really topping the cake. And really my strategy for this build is just going to be zone in as much as I can. Let it, as people are moving in, build more, zone more, build more, zone more, and just try and stay ahead of it. And it looks like we're accomplishing that so far. We have some residential areas that can be moved into, so we're good there. And we're going to add some more, and it looks like we have some commercial spaces for commercial to move into as well as industry. We're just adding some more residential, give people a chance to move in, and I'm not worried about deathways. I mean, this is a 30-minute challenge, so we won't suffer the repercussions of this mass zoning. And our city is looking good so far. We're off to a pretty good start, I think. We got plenty of space to zone. We've zoned out quite a bit of stuff. It's really just based on them moving in. I don't know any other way that you can have them move any faster. And if you do know of a fast way to have people come in, post it in the comments below. Let me in on the big secret. Because all I know is just throw down as much zoning as you can and run the game on 3-speed. That's what we're doing. Alright, we hit the next milestone. That's not bad. We're 7 minutes in, and we hit the second milestone. And the second milestone deals with trash, health, and elementary school. We're going to put a landfill right here in this nice little spot. It's going to give us good coverage. It has direct access to the roundabout. I don't think they need water, but hey, you know what? It needs to be blue, because I like blue. Let's take out our first loan. Get some money. Let's put down the health clinic, and we'll throw down a school. I mean, that should help our land value boost up. And you know what? I'm going to be a little crazy and put down the big school from the Green Cities DLC, because you know what, it has a little bit farther range, it's a little bit more expensive, it looks cool, and I want to put it down, and it makes people happy, and I want to make people happy. Apparently it draws a lot of power, so let's ramp up some of these things as well as get our taxes up while we're in the menu anyway. I mean, it's costing us a few seconds, but whatever. And I'm hoping that the elementary school will help get our folks educated, get to that educated level, so that our commercial zones will survive fairly well through this challenge. And I guess the next thing would be to put down the high school to have well-educated citizens, and we might get that. I think that's in 2 milestones from now. And here we are, running the pipes in the most efficient and symmetrical way possible. So I'm pretty proud of that. And we have a lot that hasn't been zoned in, so what do we do? I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. We can build more roads. We got money. We got 17 grand. We're making 1,500 to 2,000 a week. And people moving in at a rate of about, we'll say, 40 to 60 people half a day, I guess is the time. Looks like every time the bar fills up on the left, it rolls over about twice. So it takes about a half a day for people to move in on the PS4. I'm curious to know what it is on other systems. PS5, is it faster? On PC, if you have a screaming machine, are people flying in left and right? Like I said, I'd be interested to know. Post the comments below, and then if you do the challenge and end up posting it on Sunken Ship's comment board from the video that's linked below, remember, perhaps give your total count and the machine you're on, whether you're on Xbox, One, Xbox S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC. If you feel like your PC is good or it's just barely limping through. We're about a third into the challenge, and we're at 700 folks. So at this rate, 7 times 3 is 21. We'll probably hit about 2,000 citizens. So we don't have any high density or anything, so there's no way to really get people to move in faster in the same amount of space. We still have quite a bit of space to build, so of course we can accommodate more than the 2,000. We could probably accommodate 6,000 or 7,000 on just one tile, but no problem really. And everything's just hunky-dory. People are driving to work, people are going to school, people are moving in. Once again, we're at 700 and they're moving in, and that like 40 to 60 people per half a day rate, say. And we're making money, like I said, around 2 grand. We're at 17,000. So that's good. So like the unlimited money part of the rule, that's nice. I mean, it keeps it, I guess, needs it competitive and fair. But for me, in the cities I build, I tend to just make money pretty much right away, and then I never really lose money until we get into the much higher amounts when the game forces us to lose money. So I'm going to move the water pump over. I'm just a little leery about having my industry right next to my water source. I don't want to suck in like polluted water and kill my citizens. We're trying to have people move in, not die from poison. So I'm thinking that's a pretty smart move. I'm hoping. We have the money to make the move. Let's move it. All right, next one, Worthy Village. What do we get? We get police and fire. That's about it, really, in this milestone. Police and fire. And I'm kind of creating like almost like a little town center here. I wonder if a better strategy would have been to move them around so like you got 1 or 2 services kind of everywhere instead of say having 3 or 4 services. We have the school, the clinic, police, and fire, like kind of concentrate in that one area. So that the land value boost might be good there and causing buildings to level up, kind of like in there's like this handful of roads, but would have been better to like say have police and fire somewhere and maybe the clinic and the school somewhere else to kind of get our buildings to 3. And of course, the higher level they are, the more people you can fit in them. So I wonder if that would have been a better strategy. So I went ahead and designated these 2 areas as farming and forestry. I mean, we ended up unlocking the district painting as well as the those 2 specializations. So I might as well use them. Gives it a little variety to our work instead of just zoning generic industry all the time. And we have plenty of room for people to move in, so they're not moving in. I mean, they're moving in once again at the same kind of rate of like 40, 50, 60 plus, twice a day basically, and that's what we got. Like I said before, I'm interested to see if your machine's faster, do the numbers come in faster. So are we at a disadvantage already being on like older, like PlayStation 4 say, or whatever I think it's the Xbox One, right? It's equivalent or close to. So I wonder if we're at a little bit of a disadvantage on those two platforms compared to say PS5 and Xbox. Is it S? I'm not really sure. I don't really follow Xbox that much. I have an Xbox. It's a little dusty. I had a lot of fun playing Left 4 Dead. That was a pretty kick-butt game. Scary game. Wow, me and my wife used to play it all the time. It's the one where I think you play up to 4 players and you just run around. There's a bunch of zombies everywhere. And you just pick up different guns. And it's high paced, dark, and the zombies are terrifying and creepy. So those are my memories of Xbox One. I had a lot of fun playing that. And we're just trying to push power as much as we can. Somehow we ended up on a night cycle for whatever reason. And trying to save a little bit of money. I mean, we're still making $2 grand a week. We're almost at 1,000 citizens, but once again, we're at about halfway there. So it looks like we're gonna probably around 2,000 citizens for this challenge. Which I have no idea is good or bad. I mean, it's neither good nor bad. I mean, it's all in the fun, right? To see what you can do. Like I said, I'm interested in other strategies. I feel like I've pushed the game as far as it can go. We have ample zoning available for people to move into. We have ample jobs that the industry can zone. We have places for our commercial, and we have places for our residents. We'll take another loan, and let's just see if adding some more services helps helps people move in a little bit farther down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the big 3: police, fire, and health in the 3 different areas. Industry, we'll call it our industry/commercial area, in our residential area, in the 2 sections, and see if the happiness and that little bit of land value boost increases the rate at which they come in. I don't think it's going to, but we could try. I mean, you can see we're losing money, but we're losing like less and less as time kind of goes on. And once again, our city's looking good. I like the organic look of it. I just kind of was spastic about it. Just ran roads based on somewhat the tree line. You can see the road that runs through our residence kind of borders the tree line a lot. And also ran a road that borders the coastline of the river. So I had a lot of fun with the road layout. I think it looks fine. I really think it looks good. It just seems that we're stuck at this plus 30 to plus 60 people twice a day deal here. We can't get past it. Our power's going up, but I don't really want to put down another power. Well, we can't afford to put down another plant parent. We only have 18 grand. We're losing money at this point. Less and less, but we are losing some money. let's go ahead and reduce our water budget some, just to kind of eke out as much as we can from the budget. So we can't put down a new power plant. So we're gonna have to run this thing to 150. We're gonna have to run it until the turbine falls off the shaft. All right, we hit the next one, Tiny Town. Now, Tiny Town is probably my favorite milestone. If you are a fan of my channel, you know I say this every time we hit that milestone. And just because it's like a kid at Christmas, you know, when you get all the gifts under the tree, right? Because Tiny Town gives you Industries DLC, which we're not going to use here. We zone the specialization. It's a little too costly probably to put down those assets. I mean, they're like several grand to tens of thousands of dollars. So it gives us the Industries DLC. It also gives us the fishing. And we could have used fishing in this as well. But once again, the assets are a little pricey. So it's a little tough when you don't have a whole lot of money. And of course, we can put down the Park Life DLC, which can generate quite a bit of income if you set your road layout up for it. But in this case, we just put down some parks and stuff. The leisure, I think leisure and maybe landscaping opened up to us. But once again, I picked the Swamplands, which is a flat map. So there's no terraforming, which saves us money and gives us really the best kind of chance at boosting our numbers. Of course, my road layout doesn't do that, but it looks pretty. It looks good. And that's really what counts. Hey, we're back in the positive. Yay! Give myself a round of applause. We're at a couple $100 a week now. Woohoo! A far cry from the 2,000 plus that we were making moments ago, but that's okay. And we're up to a point where we might be able to place our next power plant. Earlier, as you saw, I put down a handful of small parks. The small park is the most efficient leisure item probably in the game, other than maybe the climbing frame from the city park. It's like $8 a week. I think it gives 120 or 150 entertainment value, and the radius is like the maximum radius that a leisure item can be. I think the climbing frame might be the same, or they're very close. I mean, the cool thing about the climbing frame is it probably takes up maybe a quarter of space as the small park does. Provides, I think, the same entertainment value boost, as well as same size radius, I think, for the same cost. And you can put it on paths, so you don't necessarily have to take up. So if you design your roads and leave like gaps in between, kind of like the buildings, so you can put like some trees and stuff. And of course, if you're a fan of my show, you see that all the time, because we do nothing but build a city out of Park Life DLC assets. Very few buildings, just mostly climbing frames and trampoline parks, and occasional plazas and statues from the campus. But when we're not doing that, we are running roads and keeping space, like I said, between like the houses, so that you can run paths in between, and you can always kind of sneak these climbing frames, the towers and stuff like that from the Park Life DLC. Trying to create these nice little pockets that give you happiness bonus, increase, I guess, the land value. I'm not sure if they increase the land value. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to. I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm suspicious they may not as much as like a park. But they are park things, so you would think, you know, when you use like that policy, Parks and Recreation, where it gives you like I think it's like a 25 or 50% boost in land value for like 10 or 15% of the budget, something like that. I hope that it works with the Park Life DLC stuff, because Lord knows I probably use an unhealthy amount of those assets. We're coming up to 5 minutes left, and boy, this has been a slugfest, I'll tell you. I'm getting exhausted here. And we're at 19,000. We're making like $300 a week, which the money isn't really a thing now. We have plenty of room for people to move to. We have the farming and forestry area for work. that's not zoning in. We have commercial, and commercial doesn't really matter that much. I mean, you can get away with zoning like maybe 20% of your total distribution being commercial, and we'll say 20 to 25 being like jobs, so like office slash industry, which leaves you like roughly what, 60 or so, 50 to 60 residential. And if you keep those ratios, it's pretty solid. I've always built my cities using that zone distribution of, we'll say, roughly 50 to 60% residential, 20 to 25% commercial, and the rest kind of being industry, office, and of course, depending on what you want to do with your life. If you want to build an office only, then it'll be all office. If you don't want to have any office, obviously it'll be all industry. You know, you're using a lot of industry DLC. That might sway it more towards industry. There's policies that can affect it, industry 4.0. And the one like the safety one where you overlook the safety violations or whatever, and you produce more industry goods. There's the two like small business benefactor, big business enthusiast, or I might have it backwards. But those two will, of course, increase your commercial goods, so that pie chart can kind of shuffle around. I always implement an education boost in industry 4.0. Once again, I kind of just tweaks the numbers a little bit. But like I said, those numbers of like 50 to 60 residents, we'll say 25-ish commercial, 25-ish office slash industry, has always served me very well. You know, like with the industry 4.0 education boost policy enacted. What can change that? If you put down a lot of leisure items, because really, like when you look at the demand bars, green is like we need workers, yellow is we need jobs, and blue is we need something to do. If you think about it like that, the game kind of makes a little bit more sense. So of course, green, we need more people. That's zoning more residents. That's pretty self-explanatory. Blue, I need something to do. That could be commercial. That could be any of the commercial specializations, the organic, the leisure tourism. That could be, you know, unique buildings, I suppose. That could be, you know, like leisure items, you know, because people will get pulled away from like your commercial zones and go to like your parks, your park life, DLC stuff, your unique buildings, all that stuff. Because, you know, you'll see that people, tourists will go there. And if you need work, then you can put down, you know, yellow industry. You can put on the industry specialization. You can put down office only, all industry. You can any way you want to slice it, as well as, you know, put down like your fish factories and your industry DLC assets and all that stuff to give people work as well. Well, we're winding down. We only got a few minutes left, and we're at 1,700 people, and we're still bringing in roughly that 50-ish people twice a day rate, I would say. Never rhymed it. Way to end it, right? And we have no money because we just put down, I think, a power plant or something. I don't know what we just did. And we're making 500 a week, which isn't a lot. Well, it's just nothing. It's pennies on the dollar, really. But there's nothing else we can really do. We have room for people to move in. We have room for people to go to work, and we have room for buildings to populate for shopping. Let's take a look at what it looks like. That city's growing nice. I mean, it looks nice. It's not that bad. I'm really digging Sunken Glades. It looks good, and I think this city could really turn into a proper city. Minus the death wave that we zoned in. And our clock is winding down. Let's see if we make 2,000. I'm going to say we should give ourselves an extra, like, maybe 20 seconds, because I have autosave on every 10 minutes, and that freezes the game for a few seconds each time, and then it says it's 3 times, we'll say for 3 seconds or so. We should give ourselves at least a nice helping in 15 seconds and see how we get. 30 minutes and 15 seconds, we'll call it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll call it at 3015 at 1927. So we'll say roughly 1900 to 2000 citizens in 30 minutes, give or take, depending on any time discrepancies caused by Superman flying around the Earth, black holes or wormholes forming nearby, the Q continuum popping in and messing with our time frame, curvature of the Earth, the sun's feeling a little tired today and doesn't want to move as fast. Maybe there's too much wind. I don't know, but I think that's about right. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. So I'd like to take this moment to thank Sunken Ship for having the idea to do this. This was fun. I enjoyed building this, enjoyed making the video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it. I guess I feel like I did as best I could, so I'm happy with the performance I did. I don't know what else we could have done better other than have a faster machine. I would move people in faster. Well, it was a pleasure having you at my side for this challenge. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the challenge. And I hope to see the results you have if you decide to take up the challenge. And of course, if you did like the challenge, hop over to Sunken Ship and subscribe to our channel. I'm sure she'll be happy to have you. And of course, if you're not a subscriber of my channel, I'd love to have you part of the NBC family. So hit the subscribe button as well as the like button if you like the video. Of course, that helps me out, promotes the content and everything, and people get to see the crazy shenanigans and fun that we're having on this channel. If you'd like to interact with me live, stop by my Twitch page. The link is below as well, and shoot me a follow. That way you'll be notified the next time I'm streaming. I wish you the best and bright success in the challenge and in your cities. And as always, happy building.